Hi, good morning, everyone. This is May from candoitblog.com, and I'm really excited today. I was going to do a topic that was different than what it is today. Today, I'm going to talk about how to get your dream life, and I'm going to talk about my story. See, I put in my notice to quit my job. If you've been watching me at all, then you know that I have been working full-time at a bank, and that I've been there for about 8 years now. And I also started this online business when I was pregnant with my son, Jordan, and that I was doing the business and working full time and was a mom. So I told you that, whatever you're doing, you can do this too. And I'm happy to say that I've finally gotten to the point where I could quit my job. So I put in my notice on November 23rd of this year, like 2016 now, and my last day is December 23rd of 2016. So I am now moving out of job world into entrepreneur world, full-time mommy, stay-at-home mom, work it from home. And I'm really excited because this has kind of been a dream of mine for years, and I just didn't know how to do it financially. I didn't know how I could make it happen. How can I stay home when we need the money for our son and we need the money for our family? And so I'm proud to say that I found a way to do that. And so this webinar, it's only going to be a half hour long. I'm going to talk about what I did, what was different for me, how did I make it happen? Because most people I know never do make it happen. In fact, a lot of people I know, when I started my journey in this particular internet marketing business, they're still working their jobs and they're not going to quit anytime soon. And some of them who I met in there were already retired, and then they started their internet marketing career. But very few people do I meet that were actually in a job, had kids, and they quit because they could become full-time entrepreneur. So there are people though. One is Lawrence Tam, who's my mentor, and he's a multimillionaire earner in our company, and he's a very amazing story. He used to be a full-time engineer, and then he got laid off and then became full-time entrepreneur and makes more money doing that than he did as an engineer, much more money. So there are stories and exceptions. My sponsor, Kiala, when I met him, he was working at a cafe, like some kind of a cafe, and then he ended up quitting because his internet marketing income was more than his job. So there are people I know who have done this, but very few personally that I know. So actually there's more than that. There's Brian Couch. There's also what's her name? Sheena Yap Chan. So there are people. So there's actually a community, and actually tapped into that community. That's why I know these people through our business, and that's why I've had such good role models to look after. But I'm very excited when you finally do it for yourself. It's a very big deal. It's a life changer. But let me put on the screen my name and everything so that you know who I am and my blog. So if you want any more details on me or what I do, just go to my blog, and that's candoitblog.com. Oh wow, we've got Javon on. Wow. Hi Javon. How you doing? Can you talk? I can hear your keyboard clicking. Javon, are you there? Hello. Hi. You want to say something?
You can see me?
Yes.
Yes. Hello. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Javon. I was live call, and I was talking about how to make your dream. But I just started. So why don't you stop?
Hello, everyone. Jim from Boston, and everybody's having a good day. So, and May's gonna take it from here.
Whatever. Tell them who you are, why you got started in your business, why you. Go ahead.
I got started because I wanted to create my own economy. That's something I've been trying to do for I feel is important. I'm, like I said, I'm from Boston, originally from Richmond, Virginia. Came up here for school and started my business a couple years ago, and it's been going well. What I've learned with this is about being consistent. I mean, you can have your ups and downs, but being consistent is the way to, you know, everybody's already success. Napoleon Hill says, actually it wasn't Napoleon Hill, but success is a progressive realization of a worthy ideal or goal. And the fact that you continue on with your goals, that means that you're success already. So it's all about doing what you're passionate about, and that's what I attempt to do every day. I don't try to do it because try is just a presupposition failure. I attempt to. So with that, I'll give it to Meg.
He just wants me to let him off the hook.
What was that?
You just want me to let you off the hook. No, but Javon me a lot. I hear feedback. I think phone when I'm talking.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Yeah, better. Okay, so Javon actually has helped me a lot. So I just want to jump in here. And Javon has a blog too that he'll share with you, right, Javon? Maybe before the end? No, he's not going to share with you. Okay, he loves you, but he won't share with you his blog because it's just too good. You can't hear you. Got to unmute. You have to unmute to talk.
Yeah, I'm still working on it.
Okay, that's fine. He'll share it with you next time. Anyway, it's a good blog. It's about economy. I just want to ask Javon one more question before I get started. Javon, why are you so interested in making your own economy? What's the big deal? Unmute. Yeah, go.
Unmute. Yeah. So it's a big deal because I feel that when you focus on your economy, you don't have to worry about what else is happening in the world and market today. A lot of crazy things are happening, especially here in the United States. And as long as you have your own inner economy, you don't have to depend on anybody else. You can provide for your family, and then you can expand that idea to your other people as well. So because I just feel that that's really important, and a lot of people search for things out of themselves, which basically they have all the answers already. And that's your inner economy is not just economics, but it's also spiritual. It's also health as well, and so it's about just being self and not have to worry about anybody else. Worry about anybody else that try to help you with anything, because you have created this ability that you don't have to worry about what else is happening in the world or market today. So that's why it's important to me, and that's something I work on, think about, and work on a consistent basis.
Okay, thanks for explaining that. No, it's important because he talks. I've known Javon for a while now, like years. Anyway, Javon has been talking about inner economy, and a lot of people might listen to that and not know what it means, right? What does inner economy mean? So it's good to hear you explain it, so on what it means to you, so that we kind of get an idea what it means. But it sounds also like inner peace, like inner zen, like nothing around bothers me, like, Kung Fu Panda guy. You always have what it takes to deal with whatever's happening outside, whether it's from inner strength, so the right Kung Fu to fight off the bad people, or if it's like creating money in whatever economy or whatever you want. So that's pretty cool, and it's a very exciting goal. So Javon has a call actually on Sundays. So Javon, you can share people your call. Yeah.
Actually, the calls can start. I'm on a few things, but the call is the Sunday Inner Economy call, and it has to start next year.
Okay, you're gonna restart it.
So I been this call for a couple of years. Took a little break. Just working on some my own inner economy, and also just a lot of other things working on. But I'm gonna restart it next year, and basically every Sunday at 6:30 to 7, I talk about different ways to establish your own inner economy.
And that's Eastern time.
It's Eastern Standard, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and but yeah, it's not like I say to everybody on the call, it's not a sales call. It's just information. So I want to give people information, and so they can start building their own inner economy with it. So that's really the call, and it's I think it's pretty good. So I encourage you to come to it. I didn't want to start it on Sunday because I want to start new for this year. And also we're going into the holiday season as well. So I don't want to start it and not have it on Sundays because I'm away or traveling or something like that. So I'll start back up in the new year. So
sounds good. Great to have you back.
Yeah, good to be.
I haven't really spoken. Been like out. Okay, so I'm gonna get started again. So, like I said, I put in my notice. So my last day at work is December 23rd. Now this is a big thing for me to put in my final notice. Thank you. And I'm quitting my job. I'm becoming a full-time entrepreneur. I'm gonna be home with my son more, with my husband more. And to me, it's like my dream. Okay, I wanted to get out of this job for a while, but wasn't able to. And so I'm going to share with you some things that I did to leave this job. And then also what I did to create an entrepreneur lifestyle so that if you have a dream and you want to live your dream, I want you to be able to watch this webinar. It's only going to be a half hour long, and you can have tools and techniques for you to live your dreams, because living dreams is important. Now, even if you're not living them right now, like say you're in a job you hate, or say you're doing something you don't like to do, maybe you're in a bad relationship, whatever it is, maybe you're overweight and you're exercising badly, or maybe your money situation is not good, whatever it is, right now is not who you are, okay? It's just the circumstances that you've created, because you're a very powerful person, right? I'm a very powerful person. Javon is a very powerful person. When he decided to do his inner economy call, he created something in the universe that helps people create their own inner economy. He did that all because of an idea in his head and a phone, and created a conference line for free, and that's all it takes. So we have a lot of power inside us. We create the circumstances we have. So if we're in a bad situation right now and we're not living what we feel like is our dreams, we actually created that, right? So I created my need for a job. I created my need for, when I used to have very little money, when I used to live in poverty, things like that. I created that. I created all that because in my brain, I was thinking, oh, I'm poor. Oh, I'm this and that. And me feeling sorry for myself, being a victim, whatever. So I created my circumstances. And you know this to be true in your heart, right? If you're unhealthy and you created by maybe smoking or eating bad or never going and exercising, you create bad health, right, inside. Unless you're born with some kind of a health defect, that you create that circumstance. Same with money. That if you put it aside, invested and saved instead of spent it on everything you see, you would have more money, right? It's something that you do. But inside of us, there's this way to change our behaviors. There's a way to change it so that instead of dreaming all the time, we actually start living our dreams. And that's really the important thing. That's really the key to a good life. And I'm going to tell you what I did specifically. So one of the things I did, and if you've been watching my webinars. If you go to candoitblog.com, there's replays of all my webinars for the past like 3 years or so. I've been doing it for a long time. There's a series that I did on a book called The Values Factor by Dr. John DeMartini, The Values Factor. And in it, there's a exercise you do to give up bad habits. So you can use it to stop smoking. You can use it to cure diabetes. He has his example in there is this woman who used it to cure her own diabetes. So let me tell you how it works. Okay, so everything we have in our life, we have because we want it. All right. If we didn't want it, we wouldn't have it. It's just like, you know, you want to have a big screen television, so you go buy a big screen TV or whatever it is that you really want in your life, right? If you really want a car, you find a way to get a car. If you really want to get married, you find a way to find your husband or wife or whatever. But if I have a job, and if you have a job, or if you are in a situation you don't like, you want it. You want it for some reason. And you want it more than you don't want it. Because if you wanted something else more, you would have that instead. Okay. So that's the general idea. So how do we reprogram our brain so that we realize what we have to first understand why we want what we have. And then once we understand that, we can reprogram our brain so that we can find these things that we get in our job or in our bad situations somewhere else. So we don't have to keep our job. Does that make sense? So what I'm saying is that I did this exercise, okay? And I'm just going to tell you what I did. And you can, like I said, you can go to my blog, candoitblog.com, go back a year or so, and I'm doing the exercise live with you. And it's all about releasing my job, which I think is great because I'm finally actually, I guess it did work eventually. So if you really want to get rid of something in your life, do this exercise. But basically, the idea is you write down like 200 reasons why you like, what benefits you get from this situation. So for me, it was the job, right? I wanted to release the job. I wanted to let go of my job. So I wrote down, what are 200 reasons why I like my job? What are the benefits I get from my job, right? Because I have it for a reason. So I wrote down all these benefits, and I realized besides getting a paycheck, which was important to me to have money for my family, but besides that, I realized there were other things keeping me at my job. And one of them was the fact that the people there were nice, right? Well, just because the people are nice at my job doesn't mean there aren't nice people in entrepreneur world, in my internet marketing world, in my internet marketing team, you know, like Javon, who I met in Dallas at one of our business events. And also Joe, who you've seen on some of these hangouts, also met at the business events. Lawrence Tam, Brian Couch, Sheena Yap Chan, my friend Candace, all these people who are not a part of my job, who I've met, who are also very nice people, who I'm friends with. And they have dreams and they're actually living the entrepreneur lifestyle. Whereas my friends at work, they're just at work, and a lot of them complain about work and they say the same things. You know how people at work say the same things like, oh, how are you today? Oh, it's Friday, or oh, it's Monday. And you're like, you know, I heard my husband say to one woman in his office, she's like, oh, it's Friday. And he's like, what does that mean? Because people kind of drone out in jobs sometimes. And that's not my personality. I'm not like that. So I knew I had to leave, but I didn't know why I was stuck there. And then I realized, one, it was relationships. I felt like I would betray them if I left. They are nice people. You know, they've been good to me. They gave me gifts on my birthdays and on Christmas. And when my baby was born, you know, they gave me all these gifts. They're very nice to me, you know, at work. So that was one thing that I liked about it. And when I realized that, I was like, oh, and then not only that, I liked that it had air conditioning. I live in Hawaii, which is a beautiful place. Honolulu, Hawaii is wonderful. But sometimes during the day when you want to work, it's very hot, right? And if you want to work on a computer or do some kind of work for yourself, you need some air conditioning. Not a lot, but you need something so you're not so hot, right? So I realized I liked the air conditioning in my work. I liked the fact that the building was beautiful, that I had my own desk, and that my supplies, I just had to say I wanted it, they give it to me. I didn't have to actually go buy it with my own money. And I realized I had all these things that I liked about my job. I listed 200 of them, so many, right? And after I listed all 200 of those things, I realized why I was still at this job. And then I was able to find ways to find all those benefits somewhere else. Not at my job, somewhere else. Like in my entrepreneur team, I can find people who can support me, who like me, who enjoy my presence, who, you know, give me birthday gifts. That apparently that's important. You know, I can give them birthday gifts. Stuff like that. I was like, wow, I had no idea this had such importance to me. Like, and then when I wrote that list, I realized that I did. So I started saying, oh, my entrepreneurial friends can give me fun time with friends. And oh, I can get air conditioning by going to coffee shops and doing my business or renting an office space, right? And I just started thinking of ways to solve all these things that I liked about my job, how I could get it somewhere else. And once I did that, I realized why I was there, and I realized what I needed to do to get out. And then once I did that, the rest, I guess, I was just slowly putting it into action. I found Javon in Dallas in July, and he said he could help me with my accountability to wake up early in the morning. Because one of my fears was that when I quit my job, I would just not do any work. Like I would just like sleep in every day and not do anything. So I guess I wanted to be accountable so that I actually woke up and did my business. And so Javon, I check in with him every morning during the week and on Saturdays too, because I do this webinar. And I wake up before 6 a.m. and I check in with him before 6 a.m. so that I can start working on my business, because I couldn't wake up in the morning before my job. You know, it was a lot of work. And so since I started doing that and I started creating a system, I started waking up and doing my business, you know, I started seeing more results in it. And this month my income has, well, it's like quadrupled times 10, more than quadrupled. It's like multiplied by 10, or it's gotten up more than that, like 100 times more income this last month in November when I quit my job. And so now I have a business that's running. I have ongoing webinars where I teach people financial freedom. I have other students that are asking to join my webinars. So I'm, enrolling people, I'm developing material, I'm teaching people. I had our first webinar class yesterday with my students, and I was teaching them how to calculate their net worth, their cash flow, and get them ready for investing to create passive income so that they don't have to worry about money from a job. They can get it on their own from investing, which is part of Javon's whole goal of inner economy, right? You can make your own money. I've already helped my husband and I do that. We make about $500 a month in passive income. And so, and it just keeps growing because I've put a system in place. And because I was able to systematize my business, I have Javon where I check in, and then I wake up and I do my business, and I have my checklist. I meet my husband once a week. We do our weekly mastermind on our business, so I know what tasks I need to get done. I focus on income producing activities, things that actually make money, instead of just listening to courses or whatever. I actually do things that create wealth and abundance. And it's been this transition where I could let go of my job and go into full-time entrepreneurship, and with the confidence knowing that I have the ability to do it, I am making the money, I have the systems in place. And I think that's the second step. So the first step that I did, and I highly recommend, is do that DeMartini exercise. And I just basically told you how it goes, but you can find it on my blog, candoitblog.com. Now, when you go to candoitblog.com, you're going to see this guy. His name's Dave Wood. He's going to be pointing. He's going to be like, check out this system. This is the system that I use. I highly recommend you put in your name, your email, and watch the free video that explains the system, because systems are what make the difference between being on your own, being self-sufficient, having your own inner economy, and working for someone else. The reason I was working for a bank, and I love my bank. I'm not saying anything against banks. I think banks are great. Someone needs to hold my money and all that. And I've worked in a bank long enough to know the people there are very nice people, and they're very ethical and stuff like that. But I don't belong there, right? Wherever you belong, whatever your dream is, that's what this webinar is about. It's about getting to you where you want to be. And maybe you don't want to be a full-time entrepreneur. Maybe that's not your desire. Maybe you don't want to be home more with your kids. I do. That's my dream. Right? I want to be able to teach people financial freedom. I want to be home with my son more. I want to be able to travel when I want. I want to have income come in when I'm sleeping at any time from my website businesses. That's what I want. That's my dream. But your dream might be different. You might want to surf all your life. You might be an artist and you want to be a successful artist. It doesn't really matter what your dream is. If you're doing something right now that is not your dream and you feel like you're being stifled, what I'm talking about today will help you break through that challenge, that barrier to get to the point where you're actually living what you want to do. Living what you feel is your dream, because that is what makes the world a better place to live in. A lot of happy people living their dream, helping others, giving value. So how did I make the jump? That exercise helped a lot. Okay, the Dr. Demartini exercise helped a lot. Another way of doing it is to talk about what is your why? Why are you here on this planet? What makes you happy? I did this exercise in 2013 with my coach from a course I took called PLD, Pace Setter Leadership Dynamics. It's a 90-day course where you have a coach you call every morning, kind of like I check in with Javon. You have a coach that you call every morning, but you do a little call with him or her. And my coach, his name was Charles. He's actually a self-made millionaire. He's going on a trip somewhere now, just traveling by himself. And he is one of the wealthiest men in Oahu, Hawaii. And he did that all from nothing. He came out of jail with nothing, and he found a way to become a real estate millionaire. And that's not the easiest thing to do in Hawaii because real estate is very expensive. But he owns like 50-something properties, and he's very wealthy. And he's like my age, right? So he's not this old guy either. He's a young guy. And he grew up in a place that most people grow up there and don't do well. It's a place where people, apparently, it's more poor area. So he's a very big success, and he was my mentor. I highly respect Charles. And he had me do this exercise where you write down 5 things that you love to do. Like you just love to do them all the time. Okay. You just love it. And if you did it all the time, you would always do it because you just love it. You can't get enough of it. And you could do it all day, right? So it's not like work to you. It's more like fun. So I wrote down that I love to talk to my friends. Like I'm talking to you now, you're my friend. I talk to Javon. Javon's on here as my friend. I love talking to my friends, right? I love writing meaningful things about personal growth. And so I have a blog, right? CanDoItBlog.com, YesFinanciallyFree.com are my 2 blogs. And I love writing about things that are going to help people, right? And then I also write emails, right? For my email list. What else did I say I love? I love to read. I love reading books like The Values Factor by Dr. John Demartini, The Richest Man in Babylon, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. Right now I'm reading The Millionaire Master Plan. And I'm also in the middle of A Wish Can Change Your Life with my other accountability partner, Candace Box, who is also an entrepreneur. She's also a full-time entrepreneur. She's a spiritual coach who helps entrepreneurs become successful. So I realized I love to read personal growth books. Okay, so I'm like, how can I? And then I love hanging out with family and friends, and I like exercising, working out, and I like eating well, like eating good food and learning about that and how to stay really healthy. So I'm actually very healthy. I took one of those life insurance. I have whole life insurance and life insurance. So they have to take a blood test, and apparently I'm the highest health category they have. Like my insurance advisor said he's never had anyone reach that level, but I have. So I'm very healthy. I love it. And I love all these things. So I was like, I did that for Charles. He told me to write that list, 5 things you love to do no matter what. I wrote it down. Like, what can I do? Like, what can I do to make money with these 5 things? And someone told me blogging. Right? They said, go ahead. This guy, Kale, is making money blogging. And then ever since then, I've been doing this because this is my dream job. So for you listening to this, you can do the exercise with Dr. John Demartini to release something, but you need to know what you want to. So in addition to releasing the job, which I talked about already, you need to know what you want. I wanted to be a full-time entrepreneur so that I can hang out with people like Lawrence Tam and Javon and Joe and Sheena and Candace and all these people I know that do not have jobs. They work full-time entrepreneurs. They make their own business. They create their own income. I wanted that, right? And I wanted it through blogging, and I wanted it so that I could do video marketing, so I could talk to my friends about books that I read. So I just told you about a book I read, Values Factor, and so that you can do this process yourself. Okay. But you need to know what you want. All right. So I knew what I wanted: entrepreneurship, full-time, being a mommy, having time with my family. What do you want? What is your dream? Take time to write your list of 5 things. Write 5 things that you love to do no matter what. Like, it's like play for you. You just so love it. Maybe it's surfing. Maybe it's the same with me. Maybe it's working out, doing something like being outside. I like working out outdoors. That's my thing. Maybe it's just watching movies. Who knows? Something that you just love. You just love it. It's just like you just could do it all the time. Figure out what that is for you and find out how you could make money doing that. Because that's your dream. That's what you really want. If you're not clear on what you want, it's hard to leave something else. Like if you're in a job that you don't like, it's hard to leave that job if you don't know where you're going to go next, right? But if you're clear and you know exactly what you want, what your dream is, what your goal is, then the steps you need to get to that become clear too, if that makes sense. So once I knew what I wanted, and I wrote down for my coach, Charles, what it is that I love to do, I knew that this business was my dream business. I just had to find a way to make it so that it was what I did, and that was how I made my money. And now that has become true. So that is my advice to you. Thank you for joining me on this great hangout. I'm so happy to share with you this good news that I'm finally going to be a full-time entrepreneur and live my dream job full-time and no more of the job anymore. It's very exciting to me that I'll never have to stand in front of a copy machine and make copies or scan things or do things like that. And I can actually do what I love to do, which is read books that I love, blog, make videos, to me, this is like the best. So what about you? What is your dream? What is it that you love? Figure it out, be clear about it. And I've done another exercise that we learn in our business in our 15K formula program. And also, I think it's probably in Lifestyle Profits Academy as well. But what it teaches you to do is just write out the day you get your dream, right? How it will feel. Whatever your goal is, write down what it's like that day. Like, I'm sitting in my office or I'm sitting in my kitchen and the breeze is blowing in and I can hear, my son Jordan laughing and he's playing with his little airplane toy. And I realize that I just feel so happy because I see on my computer screen that I've already made $30,000 this month. And it was much easier than when I had a job. And I made it, and I feel this sense of calm and peace and excitement because now I get to plan our cruise vacation. So whatever it is that you want, I want you to write down a descriptive paragraph with sounds and sights and visions, and where you can hear and feel, and you're in the scene, and it's the day that you get what you want. And then you can also write at the end of it, it was so much easier than I thought it would be, and this is what I did. And then you write down what you did to get there. And those are the steps you need to get to your dream. Okay, so that's it for today. Javon, do you have anything else you want to say to everyone before I end the hangout? I think you're still there and you just turned your video off. It's what I'm thinking. There he is. Okay. Go ahead, say something.
Yeah, actually, that's the whole thing about clarity was so on point because actually one time this guy told me I spoke to this guy, multimillionaire, had to pay $500 just to speak to him on the phone. Supposed to get that back, never got it back, but he did tell me something really interesting. So I was telling him all about all my goals, everything I wanted to do, and he's like, stop right there. You're missing one thing. And I was like, oh, what's that? He's like, you're missing clarity. Actually said, you're missing clarity, brother. He's like, because clarity breeds confidence. And so what May was saying about being clear on your goal is the key. Once you become clear, you become confident, and things start happening. So from that conversation, I came up with a workshop and also my call. And I got real clear on what I wanted to do. So it's what it was saying about being clear on what your goals. That's the key. That's the foundation of you achieving your success. So, May, thanks for sharing that with us.
Thank you for being on the webinar. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
We're doing this on Saturdays and Fridays with Javon. And I was like, is he ever going to be on again? So I'm so glad Javon came on again. It makes me feel better about waking up so early on my Saturdays to these webinars. Anyway. So Javon, will you be on next week?
Yes, I will.
Awesome. So we'll let you guys all know what we'll be doing next week in our email broadcast and our marketing. So Javon, stay on then after I hang up. So thank you for being on this webinar. We're going to do this again next Saturday. Always great content. All the replays you can find at candoitblog.com. You're going to see that guy. Remember, his name's Dave. He's got like curly hair. He's saying, check out my system. Write your email, write your name in, and check out the system, because that's the system we use in our business. And it's very good to help you harness the power of the internet to create income, like real income. That's why I like this business, because it's not just about making a blog and being online and having followers. It's about creating income, like real money coming in. And that's why this business system I like better than any other one on the internet. So you should definitely put in your name, email, and check it out. And if you scroll to the bottom of that candoitblog.com, you'll see at the bottom it says blog. And then you can click on that, go through all the replays of all the past webinars. But we'll see you next week, Saturday. Definitely, if you see this on YouTube, subscribe to my channel. If you see this on the blog, join the email list. And see you next time. Aloha, guys.